Please feel free to subscribe to this sideshow and append any comments and questions, which I shall endeavour to deal with to the best of my theatrical propensities.
Right, I'm going to do a little bit more on synthetic division of polynomials. These are a little bit harder than the ones I've already done. Previously we just had a linear factor as the divisor. Now I'm going to use a quadratic factor. I've done two examples just for reinforcement. But we proceed pretty well as we did before. So first of all, I'll write down 1, minus 1, minus 31, minus 38, minus 12. And down here we have 1 with minus 5 and minus 3. That's the divisor. These are the multipliers. Right, let's start off. 1 into 1 goes once. Minus 5 times 1 is minus 5. Added on to that is minus 6. And then minus 3 times 1 is minus 3. That becomes minus 34. Right. We now turn to this one here. Minus 6 times minus 5 is plus 30. Added on to that is minus 4. And minus 6 times minus 3 is plus 18. Added on to minus 38, that will give us minus 20. Now we turn to this one. Right. Minus 4 times minus 5 is plus 20. Added on to 20 is 0. And minus 4 times minus 3 is plus 12. Added on to minus 12 is 0. So we have 0 remainder. And the quotient will be x squared minus 6x minus 4. That finishes off this one. And now we'll go for that one there. Just one more example on synthetic division. This is a fairly long one. So I've taken the trouble of writing all this down just to save a little bit of time. I've written down the various coefficients for the dividend, and for the divisor 1 plus 6 and minus 2. And we'll start off from there. 1 into 1 goes once. Then 6 times 1 is 6. Added on to minus 11 is minus 5. And minus 2 times 1 is minus 2. Added on to 34 is 32. We now turn to this one here. 6 times minus 5 is minus 30. Added on to 32 is 2. And minus 2 times minus 5 is plus 10. 10 added on to minus 26 is minus 16. And this is our next multiplier. 6 times 2 is 12. 12 added on to minus 16 is minus 4. Slight recap. 6 times 2 is 12. 12 added on to minus 16 is minus 4. And minus 2 times 2 is minus 4. Added on to 28 is 24. And then finally we got this one here, which we need to multiply by. So 6 times minus 4 is minus 24. Added on to that is 0. And minus 2 times minus 4 is plus 8. Added on to that leaves 0. So our remainder is 0, and our quotient is x cubed minus 5x squared plus 2x minus 4, and that does a remainder 0 if you like. That brings us to the end of that.
Please feel free to subscribe to this sideshow and append any comments and questions, which I shall endeavour to deal with to the best of my theatrical propensities.